Hello fellow Star Citizen community, this is Raptor Spiritus back with another one for you. Today, obviously you can see I am salvaging. Why am I salvaging? Well, obviously it's a great way to pass the time and it's definitely a great way to make money. But more specifically because in 4.0 we are all broke as hell. Mega broke, EBT status broke. We cannot buy ship upgrades or have to be careful about how much damage we take doing missions because we have to fix it. It all costs money. And currently right now, none of us have much money. Talking 25, 15 to start with, which isn't anything. So this is my journey on going to a mill. Why specifically? For the goal of buying size 5 attritions for the new kid on the block, the Mirai Guardian. So fast forwarding, I finally hit a mill. Now I'm gonna tell you, it was a struggle. Obviously, not to mention the issues with 4.0, currently with server errors, and then eventually it just straight dropping you to menus because it crashes, missions with hauling not working correctly, and then for a while, for a few hours the other day, there were no missions whatsoever. So it was a little bit of a struggle. What's funny about it is that I was at 800,000 and some change, and I had 2 hauling missions that were 50 each, and I was right there to get that mill. And I'm gonna tell you, I went through about 4 missions, failed because of either the server errored or the cargo wouldn't take whenever you dropped it off, or wasn't there to start with when I went to pick it up. So it was a little bit of a struggle, but yet I was relentless. I wanted to get this mill before the evening was over because my eyes were set on those size 5 attritions. I needed to have them for my Mirai Guardian QI. So just a little backstory. Obviously, the Mirai Guardian has 2 size 5s, and if you are on the Urkel site and you look at the attritions, they have 1965 burst DPS and about 377 alpha max. So for a repeater, that is a hard hitting repeater. And as it is a hard hitting repeater, because most of them the alpha's only like 84 or something like that, but for it being such a hard hitting repeater, obviously that means it's going to cost a little bit of money. To be more precise, it is, as I'm trying to look it up because I can never remember it, it is 276,310 AUEC. Let that sink in for a minute. That's a lot of money, and which requires, again, a lot of scratch that I don't have until now. I got the million, now it's time to get the attritions. So just a side note, this right here that you're seeing is me dropping the back ramp that has a 1 AUC box. I think I just said that wrong because I'm losing my mind. But it has a 1 size box that Foxy Loxy on his video when he did the review for the Mirai, he didn't realize, or I don't know if he did, it just didn't want to, but he did not use the back button to bring it back up. So I just wanted to show you, obviously from that video you could bring it up from the button. So now of course I'm going into Lorville and I am buying the size 5 attritions. Let me tell you guys, when I first started playing it, and my first purchase vehicle I got was the Corsair. At the time it had size 4 main guns and 2 size 3 wing guns. I did all attritions, and I'm gonna tell you, it hit real hard. Attritions have always been really good weapons. A couple friends of mine said before it used to get stronger as they heated up, so I mean, I'm sure they changed it here and there. And then of course they upped everyone's weapons. They upped the attritions for the Corsair to size 5 and then size 4 on wings. So I'm very familiar with them. They're super great weapons. So I wanted to get them for the Mirai Guardian. And of course, as I keep mentioning, in 4.0, we all started from scratch. We all started from brokenness. And so I tried to sell back the two guns, the M7s. And of course, Hurston is not having it. They don't want them. So eventually I will sell them off, I'm sure, to make a little bit extra money. And maybe perhaps later on, if as I'm doing salvaging, if I come across a ship that has size 5 some things, I might toy around to see how they fare on the Mirai Guardian at some point. But for right now, I just have 2 extra M7 size 5 guns just kind of hanging around. But yes, I have size 5 attritions on my Mirai Guardian now, and so I am super excited. I'm gonna go check it out. I ended up buying a few things while I was here. I like buying clothes and things like that, because as it is immersive, and eventually it's going to matter because you're not going to be able to walk around with math armor on. I went ahead and did some shopping. So the big reveal, if I can get out the elevator, because I believe I tried to open the door and then the door closed on me because I was trying to do like a little dramatic reveal, and it was a pain. So you know, 4.0, it's all good. It's working actually better than I expected as far as with the server meshing, because it's new technology. So it's actually, performance is really well. So I was pretty impressed. So here we are, the Mirai Guardian. And just a side note, I don't know if whoever you Star Wars fans out there, the back of the Mirai does not look like the back of the Ebon Hawk from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. It does for me. But that's neither here nor there. That's side note. But there they are. Size 5 attritions on the Mirai Guardian QI. It just looks like it fits, like it's supposed to be there. It's gorgeous. Gorgeousness. Now, I will have to put this in there. When CIG came out with the regular Guardian and then the QI, I feel like really they should have made the regular Guardian a lot faster and more nimble than the QI, just to make it appealing. Because right now it's like no point on buying the regular one, everybody's buying the QI, and I'm a big fan of diversity, you know, so it's got to have something. So I'm pretty sure CRG is eventually going to do something to it. The only thing I do hope is that they do not mess with the QI, because at first I thought it was only going to have one size 5, but it had 2, which I realized after actually I bought the regular one at first. And then when I noticed that it had 2, I was like, what's the point of having the first one? And so, and their stats are about the same, except, you know, this one's a smidgen slower. So here I'm just showing that there's an exterior storage, which is super cool. You don't have to go in the ship to do it. You can just drop stuff in there as you're going along. And then of course they have a size 3 gun rack for your weapons, which is super cool. Again, this ship was very thought out, very well, and I love it. Here I'm going in through, I was going to go through the back, but then I forgot I had that one size box that I'm going to put in the back. But I got to move my stuff in there, so I'm doing that right now. But while I'm doing this in the video, as I said, I really think they could have made the regular Guardian a little bit more appealing, because right now everybody's just getting the QI, and yes, the trade-off is eventually when you use the quantum dampener, you have to move power to it, which makes your ship, I think, a little more vulnerable, because you're taking power away from somewhere else. It's coming from somewhere. So but as we know, this is alpha. It's a constant struggle to balance it. I just hope they don't do the QI like they did the Corsair, which if you're a Corsair owner, you know they took away 2 of the size 5s, which should never have happened, but it did. Instead, they should have just dropped it down gun size, but that's neither here nor there. I just hope that they don't take away the guns on the QI just to make the regular appealing. That would be a very terrible move. They just, again, make the regular one maybe a little bit more durable or tanky and a little bit faster to make it make sense. So I'm putting the box on back ramp because, again, as I keep saying it was not shown. I know some other people eventually showed it, but here I wanted to show you. Just put the size 1 box on the ramp, put it up, and whoop, there it goes. It is in the back. Now, mind you, as you're going to see in the video, as I'm entering from the cockpit, the box is going to actually block the suit locker that's in the way back, and it also has another weapons rack, which I do believe is size 2 weapons. So just keep that in mind. You can use it, but also the hallway where the components are and the engineering section is, which you'll see in a bit, you can actually move there. I've done that already. It just makes it easier for me to leave it in there. So whenever I want to get to it, I can just drop it down, because the door keeps closing when you walk away from it, and it kind of makes it a little bit hard to, you know, get the box in and out. The door size is fine, it's just the door keeps closing. So, but here we are on the inside. Super amazing. Got a bathroom, little kitchen area. I would like to have seen a refrigerator of some sort, but you can't have it all. It is a heavy fighter at the end of the day, but it's still a wonderfully thought out ship. Wonderfully thought out. And of course, more storage. I went to kneel down, but I accidentally sat down. So getting up. So of course, if you didn't know, because sometimes the little F key suggestion doesn't come up for everything. If you kneel down, boom, more storage. Again, this is a long range heavy fighter. It's meant to be out for a hot minute. It is not meant to do short range like some other the fighters. You can go out into deep space and be hanging out in the cut. This is the engineering section, which I referred to before. So it'll fit that size 1 box in here just fine, and it's not going to stop you from moving around. And then of course, here's the back room that I was referring to, where the ramp is for the rear. So if you look straight ahead, that is the suit locker, which obviously don't work yet, but there it is. And there's the size 2 weapons locker beside it, and there's the button to drop the ramp. Yes, you have to go outside to drop it, but again, you can always move the box to this room, and then you won't have that problem. I just think it's easier to get in and out while you're going to bunkers and trying to grab and loot, so you can sell stuff to eliminate that brokenness. Here in this section, I would have loved to have seen a jump seat in case you have to pick up a friend, something along those lines, and you want to take the Guardian out. I think that would have been a little bit more prudent to have. Yes, it's a 1-seater, but at the end of the day, sometimes we are out and our buddies are in need and we need to pick them up. Sure, they can sit on the bed, but I think a jump seat in this area, because this is kind of open, would have been great. I know they're going to eventually do to where if you have decompression in the cabin for whatever reason, the door's closed to kind of keep the pressure and stuff, which is super cool, super thought out. I love it, but it would have been nice to have a small jump seat there. So I have the size 5 attritions on the vehicle. I am leaving Lorville, and I'm going to go to Edmond because the landing services did not work whenever I arrived in Lorville. So I need to fuel up with Quantum. I mean, I'm pretty sure I could probably... Oh, had a little glitchy glitch. The door did not open. Now it's open. It just magically disappeared. Obviously, you can see the animation. So that's just some of the small things we're dealing with 4.0, which again is expected. It's out, and it's using new technology, server meshing, so it's not going to be perfect, and I don't expect it to be. But for what it is, the performance is great. When it runs, when things do work, it's fun. I just cannot wait till they finally get all the other missions going at the same time, so everybody has a variety of things to do. I've only went to Pyro to go through the gate a couple times. I've been grinding in Stanton because Pyro, I'm pretty sure, is a little bit on the dangerous side, and I'd like to get my stuff back and not get commandeered or boarded. I did hear from I think it was PGR. He was out doing mining or something, and they tried to get him twice on Stanton. And so, just obviously, because now that they can hurry back to Pyro, they're feeling a little bit frisky out there. So I'm just going to advise guys, when you're doing hauling, doing mining, salvaging, just be mindful. It may be Stanton, but they are still out there, because all they have to do is get you and bounce out and go straight back to Pyro, and they are Gucci. So just stay safe out there. I appreciate you watching the video, and eventually more upgrades will come as I get more money. Again, you know, grinding, trying to get off of that government assistance and then Star Citizen, trying to, you know, get back to balling. But it's going to take time, and with all the ships that people have, like, I mean, I have a few, I don't have a lot. Trying to customize them all is going to take scratch I do not have, so I'm trying to be sparingly with it. So enjoy yourselves out there in the burst. Thank you. Please follow, subscribe, like my videos, comment. I appreciate it as I'm trying to grow it, and I will see you all there out in the burst. Just a side note, I'm over here at Edmond and went into one of the buildings and the lights are off. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This was a little scary as it was so dark. I was thinking to myself, man, I hope CIG is not like doing some zombie shit out here, because I'm over here just like minding my business, like, ooh, trying to find some extra loot, maybe some drinky drink, and then I'm like, oh, the lights are off. You know, last thing I want to do is hear, like, you know, something go clunk clunk, and then I'm like, oh, what's that? And then and I was to walk out here and all of a sudden get got all of a sudden. I've been scared out of my mind. So yeah, be careful in them dark